Hi, my name is Jacqueline Rose, and this is my energy oracle reading for the week of the 26th. If this message resonates with you, please click like and subscribe to my channels. I would much appreciate it. I pulled two cards for you today. We're going to go straight into the reading. The first card is the Peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. Right there. This card actually came out for me one time when I was really in an issue where I needed to be right, or I felt like I needed to be right. It's crazy when it came out. And this one is a Lady Porta. I'm not good at pronouncing things, okay, guys? So you're just gonna have to roll with me. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. And this one is let go of the need to be right. But then this one is do what you feel needs to be right. So we will see how this comes together in the end. I'm going to read the extended messages for both of them, and then I will bring them together with what intuitively I think it's telling us. Extended message: you may be feeling on edge due to a stressful situation. There's a warrior within you that wants to rise up, prove your point, and get the truth across. But you are being reminded by ancestor wisdom that truth will always be revealed in the end. It is more important at this time to avoid arguments or heated discussions where you know you'll be fighting a losing battle. There are much more powers in choosing to move forward from the highest perspective. This will allow you to connect deeply to your guidance within and your intuition that will lead you towards the healing of the whole situation, along with any wounds it may have inflicted on you. Choose peace. You know it is calling you. First one. Second one. Right now, a call for justice is being brought into your space. Even if this means that you will lose out, there really is no loss in the higher states of truth. Act from your heart. See the other person's point of view and surrender your pride so that you are coming from a place of love. If you have made choices that weren't for your highest goods, admit it. Through this honesty, you are releasing any karmic bonds or anchors of fear from your energy. Take the time to learn from this situation. And if you are involved in any legal issues, know that the Lady Portia, whatever her name, Porta, and the angels of justice are gathering around to honor everyone involved. So it's basically saying the same thing. If there's a conflict that's going on in your life, you kind of have to release your perspective of being right. Because I always say that over and over again, that like everybody's right from their point of view. Really, they are. We can't jump in anybody else's body and go, well, I can't believe you feel that way. Well, yeah, you can't believe it because you're not in their body with their, things that are going on in their head and what has happened from that day in their past. So you can't jump in their body and say, well, I wouldn't feel that way. Well, you're not them. So really, you have to release that need to always be right. I know for me, for a long time, I needed to be right about everything. And I knew I was right. But then I really took a step back and go, I'm not always right. Even from my point of view, I'm not always right. But from this, it's saying to really, you want to live in your truth. You always want to live in your truth. Like, I really present things to people as like, I understand where you're coming from, but my truth is this. And we can agree to disagree, right? That's really the best thing. And if you really get into these heated discussions, which is saying to avoid that. But if you do get into these heated discussions, you can go like, I understand where you're coming from. And I understand you feel those ways. But, my truth is this. And this is how I'm going to live out my truth. But I'm going to say this with love. That's the hard part, people. At least for me, it's because you get into your ego. Your ego wants to be like, I'm fucking right. Like, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm right, and blah, 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 all the crap that goes on in your head. And so you have to catch that ego and go, that's not really going to help this situation. This argument, this discussion, this conflict that I'm having, I have to always do it with love and realize that other people are working out of their headspace to be right. When you really work with the ego and know what the ego is and how it's trying to push you into situations and do things that are not always for your higher good, you really can go, like, a lot of people are working with their ego and working out of their ego, and their ego's talking, right? And so once you know that about other people, then you kind of have to give them grace. I do. Because I'm not perfect either, and I work out of my ego and want to be right all the time, but that doesn't get us anywhere. It really doesn't get us anywhere wanting to be right. What gets us and moves us to a greater situation is when we are approaching it with love and we say loving words, even though it's uncomfortable sometimes. Some people do not have the personality to really be mushy and loving, but you sometimes have to do shit differently and see how that works out. And you can literally go into a situation and just be like, we can agree to disagree. And I see your point of view, and I honor your point of view, and I honor my point of view. And I love you, but let's just not talk about it, because we're not going to get anywhere, right? Like, sometimes you can just go round and round, especially with, like, family members or, your spouse or, God, my kid. I can go round and round with them. So really release that. What's the most peaceful thing to do? What's the most loving thing to do? And choose that. Always choose to do everything with love. That is a challenge. It's our greatest challenge. But I think that's what the great teachers came to teach us. Buddha and Jesus and whatever religious master you follow have taught us to do everything with love and compassion, and we have to become that. So in these situations, I know it's cliche to say, what would Jesus do, if you believe in all that? But, you have to become and go, okay, like, I'm just going to be loving in this. And I'm just going to keep my truth. And you keep your truth, and we're just going to roll together. I've really, really, once I really started stepping forward in love with most everything that I did, and was opened up to other people's opinions and point of view, and really dissected that, then it was peaceful. I had more peace in my life. I didn't really have to fight with anybody, because I wasn't right, and they weren't right, and I was right, and they were right. We're right, we're wrong, it's all the same. I just want to keep the peace, but don't keep the peace by not living in your truth. Always live in your truth with love and compassion. I hope this helps somebody. Much love.